මේ මං ගාව තියෙන මේ සිංහල එක දැන් අර ලංකාවේ තියෙනවානේ මේ පිට රටින් ගේනවා කැසිනෝස් වලට clients ලා travelers and they don't exchange money in the country, they exchange money somewhere else. ඒ වගේ ඒවා මේක ඇතුලේ කොහොමද regulate වෙන්නේ කියලා පොඩ්ඩක් කියනවා.
That is the junket operations, is it?
Yes, but like you know you
junket operations සහ සමහර විට අපි නොදන්න තවත් modes තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් මේ හැමදේම regulations හදලා මේකේ පනතේ තියෙන ප්‍රතිපාදන ඇතුලේ regulate කිරීමේ හැකියාව එනවා authority එකට. ඒතර පළවෙනිම දේ authority එක සැදීම. ඒතර authority එකට පුළුවන් අඳුරගෙන junket operations සහ අපි නොදන්න සහ තව ලෝකේ තියෙන අනිත් ඒ જાතිය මේ කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා හිතන ඕනම කැසිනෝ එකක් මේ රෙගියුලේට් කරන්න පුළුවන්.
ඒ කියන්නේ අධිකාරියට බලතල තිබෙනවා ඕනෑම නියාමනයක් සකස් කිරීමට.
පැහැදිලිවම.
රෙගියුලේෂන් හදන්න ඕන.
මේක ඉලීගල් නේ. දැන් ඒ කියන්නේ රෙගියුලේට් වෙලා නැත්නම් ඉලීගල් නේ. දැන් මොනවද ඔතොරිටිස් කරන්නේ මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන්?
එහෙම ඩෙෆිනිෂන් එකක් නැහැ නේද?
එහෙම ඔතොරිටි රෙගියුලේට් කරන්නේ කවුද කියන?
ලීගල් නැතිව ඉලීගල් නේ. ලීගල් නැතිව ඉලීගල් නම් ඒවට ඇක්ෂන් කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ.
It doesn't mean that they are illegal. It's a
According to law, it's not illegal.
yes. You have to.
But now, remember, Ravi's point is valid. Now, currently, the government is losing lot of revenue. There's lot of leakages. There's lot of misusage. Nobody goes and regulate how a betting center operates in the village, and nobody knows whether those are true horse races or previous horse races. There are lot of issues. I think what this is going to cover is to cover that.
If I add something, we had casinos in the country without having any kind of license. So those casinos existed in country for past few decades. So there was no license. So
under what basis did they exist then?
They were just corporate bodies. They did the casino, we basically call them gaming activities. They paid the taxes, but there is no license for them. I mean,
So now they have to get a license if they want.
They got the license from 2022
onwards.
because we had issued regulations under the previous Casino Business Regulation Act, which will be repealed by with the enactment of this Gambling Regulatory Authority Act. And under that particular law, we have issued regulations requesting those existing casinos as to make application for the licenses, and licenses were issued for them upon making payments.
There are about 6 licenses now, is it?
Currently, we have 6 licenses are there,
Including this.
Minister of Finance. Minister of Finance.
Authority, once it comes into legal force, how long will they take to get the operational activities into place?
Establish it, no?
Because end of the day, authority per se can't do very much. You have to get it run through the organizational practices, no?
Yeah.
How long will that practice take? Has that also got to be legalized, or that can be regulatory, it can be administrative actions?
It's operative, but still we need the Gambling Regulatory Authority and sets the limits for that. And
Right now, I can remember you mentioned in the last time, authority is one, and Singapore has the operational activities now.
yes,
So how long will that take? This doesn't come simultaneously.
already we have all the operational part as is
This is
incorporated
combined.
in this act as well, because Singapore, they have 2 different acts for the operating part and the establishment of authority.
Where is under what section is it?
So if you take now licensing is one of the
Licensing.
Regulation.
and offences are there, and
Right, if that is the case, if he is coming in that, now the revenue of this, how do you basically look at now when somebody comes into the country, into this place, Does he declare his intention and say this is the amount that is going to be played? How does it happen? Because otherwise somebody comes, money is paid in India, comes here and basically gambles on certain coinages that are there. Then how do you look at the winnings? Who certifies the victory? Is it taxed at that particular point? What are those? That's what I believe in operational activities.
Yeah, the authority has to do that, and I will give. I will.
Can you refer to the powers and functions of the authority?
Yeah.
Is there a section? So මේ අධීක්ෂණය කිරීම මෙහෙයවීම හා පාලනය ඔක්කොම නිකන් මේ අධිකාරිය තමයි කරන්නේ නේ. Section 6.
The powers of the authority covers all sort of to initiate development. If I read the section 5 for you, to initiate develop and implement strategies conducive to the development of gambling, to issue, renew, suspend or cancel any license, to register the premises, to establish and maintain a rating systems, to issue directives to licensees and impose such terms and conditions on licenses, and issue guidelines.
So that I presume Tanuja would come under regulatory function.
Yeah.
I'm asking of the operation. Now, if somebody comes to the country
Yeah.
and he says, okay, he has won $2 billion, right? Who gives him the authority to say, yes, it's won here, this amount, how is it taxed, etc. I mean,
Is
if
this-
the corporate entity gets taxed, individual winner also gets taxed, or what is the policy that is there? Exchange control. How can
Section-
you take? You can't take $15,000 more out of the country. Who gives that approval?
So by regulation, so the regulatory powers are there. I can find the way the regulate.
Tanuja, can you look at section 6 and see whether this covers it?
Yeah.
It covers section 6.
If you see the section 6, it covers duties and functions of the authority.
Yeah.
So it has all sort of functions until H. It include regulate, monitor, supervise, control and operation of gambling and supervision, and then coordination with the police and prevention of illegal gambling,
is covered.
ensure that licenses effectively discharge their responsibilities, conduct risk assessment, to carry out investigation on any unlawful activity, to open and maintain current saving or deposit accounts, create and maintain an official website, to do all such other acts and things which may be conducive or incidental to an attainment of objective of this. It covers, it means that the under I, which covers all the areas that gambling authorities.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer my question yet. No, so now today, person can't go to the country more than $15,000. If he wins $30,000, how is he taking it out? A regulation here can't give that approval. Customs will say, where is it?
Does this come under exchange control? Is there a linkage between these two, right?
Exchange
Not only specific to gambling, there's a country law for exchange control. So anybody coming for gambling also comes under that.
How does it take the money outside
Or bring inside or outside.
or bring inside? That's the.
It's not the part of this act.
Yeah.
It's governed by the
Exchange.
It is
That's
still
what I'm-
controlled by
yeah, that's what
exchange
I'm asking now. So now because your national laws preclude you from bringing in more than 15,000 in and out. So if that is the case, how does it happen?
So that means you can't bring in more than 50,000.
If they can declare, they can bring the.
No, but you can't declare. No. If you declare, a person who's coming here is either a, like what the chairman mentioned, junket operator, or he is a person, or he is bringing millions of dollars, whatever it is. So how does it happen? I don't think it will be, has to be a free facility. No, otherwise, no, these are happening in Dubai, in Thailand, in India, all happening. Here, if they get stuck and say, I'm going to declare this and all, it may not function.
How does that happen right now? How do they bring that money?
At present it is governed by the Foreign Exchange Act. So they declare the amount and then they can bring any. but they have to declare.
So DG Customs, can you tell us whether, how many people have basically registered, say, I'm coming to gamble, this is the amount I'm bringing? I don't think it's a case.
No, sir, there is no such declaration.
No.
What happens normally is that anyone can bring any amount of foreign currency, but if the amount is exceeding 15,000, they have to make a declaration to customs. We are keeping a record of the amount only, and also the details of the person bringing in. We don't register the purpose for
They
which
have
it is
to
brought.
mention the
No,
purpose.
no.
Because this is why some countries have a totally offshore operation.
Absolutely.
You know, this was proposed in this country also. Unfortunately, because of religious lobbies and others protesting, it went down. Ideally, to get over this problem, best is to have an offshore operation.
Sterile area.
Yeah, sterile area. And then, because otherwise with the local communities mixing and all allowed to.
We wouldn't know that whether he went to the gambling station or outside.
Now,
Exactly.
This is the reason where I think whatever said and done, the Advocata and one or two others came and gave a very good presentation. Perhaps I think they went and met the finance secretary also. I hope, Tanuja, those have been incorporated, because otherwise you're going to have today there is X amount of tourism coming in. By trying to bring this in, you will basically suffocate that free flow of things coming in.
No,
by
this,
bringing along.
Mr. Ravi, now this doesn't cover that area, right? This is authority setting. So we get the authority running.
You're bringing law in also.
No, law in to cover the authority.
Then anybody can say you can't come and do this.
No, currently also it's happening with the
Yeah.
3 licenses. Now we have given 6 licenses.
That's why I asked the question today. Nothing
Yeah.
is happening. You said
Yeah.
illegality is not a problem.
Yeah.
So now when it becomes legal, then it's illegal. So then a person who comes, say a group that comes to play a casino, wins and takes, he can be subject to many harassment. Like the chairman said, it should be either sterile area. They can come and take, that's the benefit.
I think this is
By
the
trying to
point to
bring
think
over
about,
regulation in, we can basically have a negative impact. Today Dubai has started. Maldives is going to start. Thailand is already having. So we are not the only person who's doing
how
it.
does those countries work? Like, can people take any amount into Singapore and bring it up?
I don't know that part.
No,
Because they are under the exchange control
That's what I'm
regulations.
saying. So exchange control regulations has to be in line with what the country wants to do. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
So, but
And-
this particular discussion won't cover that. Probably we have to
No, but
sit
that
back.
has to cover. No, there's no problem bringing half-baked regulations.
No,
And say,
we have under
And that's
section
what I'm asking.
76, we can have the regulations in respect of any matter,
all right.
which is required to be prescribed, and in respect of authorized to be made, and not only that, the applicants, if you refer to the section 76, we have broad regulatory powers there.
So if it's required, it can override the exchange control with declaration in that sense. No?
Can't, no. That is, I think,
But
Chairman
both-
will know about the legal aspect. I don't think you can override national law.
No, but what I think what the ministry is trying to say is that's not a matter to be considered under this law, it has to be considered under exchange control.
No, I think it's a matter now we need to debate because thank you for raising it. So I think
Yeah.
it's the ministry and the tourism ministry and the finance
Yeah.
also have to figure out how practically this would happen.
also related to that members question, දැන් මේකේ තියෙනවා මේ 54 සුදු ක්‍රීඩාවේ ස්වභාවය අවදානම ජයග්‍රහණය වගේ නිකන් අලුත් වැරදි ටිකක්. එතකොට දැන් ඒකට හරියන්න දඩ නීති සංග්‍රහය හරි මේ ක්‍රිමිනල් ප්‍රොසීජර් කෝඩ් එක හරි ඇමෙන්ඩ් වෙනවද මේ වැරදි වලට දැන් මේකට මේ ෆයිනෑන්ස් පැත්තෙන් එහෙමනම් ලීගලිත් ඒක තියෙනවා නේද?
අපිට මෙහෙම කියනවා දැන්
offense
මේ
under
ඇක්ට්
this
එක අපි
law.
හදන්න ලීගල් ප්‍රොසෙස් එකට ගියාම එතනින් ආවේ නැද්ද මොකුත් contradicts conflicts වෙන ඒවට මොන හරි
එහෙම තමයි.
Aegis department representative.
Yeah, I can add to that. When this was initially referred to the Attorney General, in fact, in a 9-page advice, we proposed certain things that are unconstitutional
Right.
with regard to the working of this. Classically, is a licensing regime, and so license violations and offences akin to those have been included. So the forum jurisdiction is identified the magistrates court. So there is no requirement to amend the Code of Criminal Procedure Act or the Penal Code, because these are standalone sui generis offences under this act. Forum jurisdiction and the penalties are given. With regard to certain views were in fact given and they have been incorporated, and thereafter when the bill was resubmitted is when the legal clearance was given. So whatever initially that was proposed have been incorporated. Those are the views of.
Thank you.
No, but I mean that's exactly the example I asked now. About a month ago, we brought the what do you call the Uber and all. They have been taxed under what law? The new law that came in. Now Uber has found a way of being out of it. No, they only had add value because of the fact that the base sale value is not taken. Likewise, only here, you basically bring in a half-baked regulation will become inoperative. Now that's what I say. I mean, just because the AG gives approval doesn't mean that everything is right. This is exactly what happened in Uber. When we mentioned here that this will not basically bring the total value, you will have two different competing elements. Where
but it's not fair to say half-baked.
No, I think
particular particular concern you are validly making is something that we need to think through.
And
but
it's this
particular act also allows the authority to look into all those aspects. If there's a regulation that can be.
Yeah, but regulatory authority.
This is just the regulatory framework.
The law is operative now.
Yeah.
You can't tell the law to be silent when the regulatory authority is going to look into the matter. We must here bring in to say, yeah, everything is in order, they can do things. Otherwise,
they are already doing things, no?
No, Honorable MP, I think this is just the regulatory framework for the industry, and if there are other practical difficulties or practical situations that arise out of it, I think you can have other regulations and discuss with other agencies and then come up with,
you have a look at the end of the day, we'll bring this up, and if something happens, we'll say we mentioned. You all have to say how is it operating thereafter.
No, but does this act have the power to, if they want to get into what Honorable MP is suggesting, if they want to regulate, is there anything preventing this act from regulating them? Nothing, no? So if they want to, they can.
Powers are there to enact regulations, in
Yeah.
the sense publish regulations, and then I think as it goes along, I think by trial and error, they'll have to see
Exactly.
what problems arise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Particularly one issue would be, siphoning off
Money.
funds, you see, from the country on the, because that is why this junket operations, you see that it is, when you take away gambling revenues outside, you will have to, I think, carefully monitor this and then see. But because junket operations is a kind of a culture that has been built into casino operations. They are agents who go and bring high net worth individuals. They come, they get special privileges, they are given packages, and
they don't bring
what
cash.
they do, and they are just given tokens,
Yeah.
right? And then the arrangements is between the junket and the casino, right?
Yeah, Chair, I think that.
So then
that
we don't
is
know
that,
how much of gambling took
No,
place.
that only can be guided through the regulations you create, how to monitor the operations of a gambling activity. So how many transactions, how many rounds, how many cards, how many coins were sold. You have to just go in and check that those are the things that somebody, because you can't obviously monitor it from outside, right?
The revenue, how is the revenue based here? It is a revenue based operation, no? How is the revenue, how does it be brought into the legal operation?
Now currently we have this issuance of license based on the investment value. So the license fee is decided upon the investment value.
Okay.
So likewise, to issue the licenses, the authority can issue regulations providing the investment criteria and other requirements. I mean, the specific criteria for the issuance of licenses.
No,
But how many licenses to be
I'm saying
issued?
a gambler who is come down with gambling, and approvals are done, we'll say, now somebody gambling.
Okay.
Right, Melco has started now.
Yes.
Now when you say Melco or whether it's Dhammika's or whether it's Ravijaratnam, whatever the thing is, how does the revenue, you are going to tax the revenue? No?
Yeah, the taxation, again, the taxation part is done by the IRD, because no powers is given to the authority to tax them. They can charge fees and charges, whatever they need for the administration of the authority and the regulation of the industry. But the taxation part still vested with the Commissioner General of Inland Revenue and the other taxing authority.
So the starting point would be how much is paid in that day, no? So that falls under the company. So IRD covers that. But how does the revenue come about? He can be given coinages, no money is coming in, and the winners losing can be netted off, and only the net comes into the country. That's what I mean.
Inland revenue has to devise ways and means of
Taxing
monitoring the taxable income. Because they say 40% now, right?
That's on the bottom line.
On bottom line.
On the bottom line. Top line also we have no.
Tanuja, does the act in Singapore, the two acts, does it also cover taxation, licensing, nothing?
They have separate act for the taxation purpose, because
So
they have
that is
basically
what
3
I
acts.
think that is what the Inland Revenue has to
Yes.
look at and make those
Exactly,
amendments.
yes.
So probably around this industry it will take us a while to get it completely running with the cycle of exchange control, Inland Revenue and the authority. So
this
members,
only
I think
creates
we
the
need to
industry.
support this initiative because they have taken few years to get here, and I think we should be.
Not the support you are
Yeah.
opposing. I mean, this has been something which is going on for a long time
Yeah.
now. So while doing that, now the top line at the moment, you have 18%, right? Has 18% on the top line been taxed at the moment?
15%.
Right. And then there is, Singapore has 18 and 4%. Here
Yeah.
it is 18%.
18% on the gross,
Gross and 40% on the
45% on the
bottom
income.
line.
Yeah,
That's profits, right?
the profit, yes. So that is corporate income tax, 45%.
So my
And in
question-
addition, annual levy of currently 500 million per annum.
500 million rupees.
Yeah.
Then the per tax also you charge, no? The per entry of
Yeah.
a person?
To casino entrance levy,
That's $100.
$50 per the locals.
Only
One-
local.
Only local.
So at the moment, on this basis, on the unregulated approach, what is the total revenue on casino?
Total 2024 altogether 11.5 billion.
That came with that 10 billion tax on that Indian company, no?
Yeah,
No.
so
Except for the licensing fees?
annual levy 2.1 billion and gross collection 4 billion. Total entrance levy 457 million. Total casino license fee 5 billion. Altogether, the CIT 11.5 billion. So in terms in this year, the first half of the year, annual levy 1.6 billion, gross collection 1.9 billion, total entrance levy 275 million, and corporate income tax 7 billion. That is at 45%.
You see, now we have now this Melco subsidiary that have come in with 100 million they have to invest, minimum 100 million for them to avail of the other thing, $100 million, right? Now yesterday Sunday Times reports this. They have already, you see, said this in their annual report, which is a very dissuading thing. If this kind of, because subsequently what they are bound to say, either they say, given these uncertainties, there can be no assurance that evolving regulations and attitude towards gaming in Sri Lanka will not adversely affect our business, financial condition and results of operations.
That's exactly.
If these guys, now after the act, you go and enact new regulations, if these guys protest and say, this was not told to us at the outset, right? We will not be able to attract any more FDIs into this area.
No,
Right?
but
We
I
run
think
the
the-
risk because they already said so in the annual return.
No, but Honorable
annual
Chair,
report.
I think the regulatory framework is very clear about the powers the authority gets.
Yeah, we have got a rudimentary framework.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's fine.
No,
the
I
only
think
thing is all these
the
new-
ones that are already given, they are already agreed upon the current licensing. No?
Yeah.
So there is a precedence to it that they will continue under those, right? But it's a regulation that will come into play. But whatever the conditions that they invested won't change significantly.
Yeah.
Please
The
explain.
provisions are there, yes.
you know,
No, but take cognizance of the fact of what the chairman says. These is what we are reflecting, because that's why I asked you now, there's about 3-4 billion that is on. Now, I think there is intense competition now. Melco has come, there were 2 existing veterans that were there. Then there's the Indian one also now at Nilum Pokuna.
yeah.
Right, so with all of them, you have X amount that is going to be divided among all this. So unless you are bringing freely people coming in, you are going to get caught up with the lack of revenue that is going to come. That's why come with a thing that is operationally viable. Or don't put too many regulations that will kill the industry.
But that is up to the authority to decide, right? Whether they want
So
to
they
kill
don't
the
even
industry.
decide when they
You know,
come
if
in.
you
they are
say
not
something
told.
upfront,
The
it's
upfront
easy.
is not-
Right now, if you say subsequent, if you want
But
to
does it-
enact regulations, these guys will start protesting, saying that we came in here with large investment. Now suddenly they are imposing these restrictions, and that is inimical to the industry. Don't you know?
I think this act won't anyway have those things. Now let's establish the authority. And when the authority brings regulation, we can
I mean,
have a play there, right?
on paper it says that සුදු ක්‍රීඩාවේ සංවර්ධනයට හිතකර ක්‍රමෝපාය ආරම්භ කිරීම. So I think the objective of the act is not
Nobody
to
doubts that we need
restrict.
to have a regulatory framework.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not doubt. But these guys, knowing
they
that they are
got-
big
they
operators,
also,
they have
I mean,
already sounded an alarm.
No, I think what
I
you are
agree. I think that's very fair to call it
Yeah.
out. But all these people, the ones who were there previously, expected there will be no regulation forever, including the betting center. So luckily it's coming with the initiation of previous government or this government, it's coming. Second is the ones who came recently is also a player who's globally listed and aware of the
Global practices.
kind of ethical practices of it. I mean, I was there at the inauguration also. They spoke about it at least, being ethical and being into the global standards. So I think bringing global standards in, we won't have a problem unless we create something very specific to Sri Lanka, and that is what's going to kill it.
So I'm happy to say that because existing casino operators also help to draft this piece of legislation, because they have also commented. So we have included their comments as well.
So there was stakeholder
Yeah,
consultation.
consultation. I think we had 3 or 4 consultation with them.
Okay, so
About
One of the gray areas is whether exchange control is allowed to take this in and out. That is still gray.
Honorable MP wants the exchange
Under
control
section
gone.
24, the licensees has to comply with all other regulations, including this Foreign Exchange Act as well.
No, I am not
If
talking
the-
about the operator. I am talking the winner or a loser. Now, winner assuming somebody wins, he has to officially.
So he
take
can
no-
declare and take, no?
No, that's what I am saying. Whether
No,
it's
that's okay.
permitted. No, exchange control has, won't
But
be there.
still subject to the Foreign Exchange Act.
That's right. So Foreign Exchange Act says how you are going to define the dealer winning. So then who certifies at the gambling point? Isn't
Is
that
there
right,
a-
Customs? I mean, finally, it has to go through you all now.
So currently, taking out of foreign exchange is limited to 15,000. If somebody wants to take out anything more than 15, he has to make a declaration to customs.
Yeah.
But when they make a declaration, we would want to know the source. So unless the money has been issued by a bank,
Yeah.
we will not allow taking out.
So then, is there a way to do that under the
So
authority?
does that mean the
Is there a
current
certification?
operations run that nobody wins above 15,000?
No,
Yeah,
even if
oh,
you
we are
Then
making
it's
law now.
junket, what's
We are
happening?
making law here. So these exactly what the customs
No, no,
interpretation
that's
is correct. Now the issue
No, there was
is
a news
who
that
will-
somebody won 200,000 on the first day itself.
really,
how did they take it out? No, but is there a way of certifying that this is a gambling income? It's generated through gambling.
No, but then each of the operating places will have to have, no?
We have to have some.
Yeah. So sorry, 10,000, not 15,000.
Yeah, okay.
10,000. Outward 10,000, inward 15,000 without declaring to customs. If it is exceeding
Inward
that,
also you have got to declare. I mean,
if it is exceeding $15,000,
No, why is it a country that is starving of foreign exchange bringing in, what does it matter?
so it's only a declaration that we expect.
Money laundering.
You can't take it out. You bring it in, you can't take it out.
It's an international commitment.
I think
no?
the
To
only
prevent
way
money
is to-
laundering.
No, even our banks have a KYC when you
Yeah.
send some money, so I think we can't look at it that sense.
Yeah,
The law, I mean, if it is needed to be changed, then the law reform should be in the Foreign Exchange Act.
No, but I
this is
think
not a-
the valid question here is whether there's a way of certifying this is a gambling
Income.
induced income. If there's a way of doing that, I think
Yeah, because
Yeah.
people can use other forms of
professional
money.
also to
Professional gamblers
For
will
money
want to take
laundering.
it professionally out.
Yeah.
So they'll say, so endorse that we have got this.
So then they should have the authority to do that. So
Yeah.
in this
So that's my question.
regulation, we have to create a rule
Yeah.
to
That's
say
my
that
question. So
the
you-
gamblers will have the authority with some kind of a formal process to certify that this money is won at that particular event. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So that the thing is,
Yeah,
should
we
that
have,
come here or should that come in a regulation?
Here, under
The act
regulation,
gives the
22,
power, no?
section 22 provides that any transaction relating to
Yeah.
gambling, so shall be in accordance with the Financial Transaction Reporting Act, Foreign Exchange Act, or any other requirement as may be prescribed. So the
So we can prescribe
requirements could be prescribed.
prescribed. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
So then the institution, that is one of the 4-5 places, has to endorse that he is one.
Yeah, and that
So
endorsement,
is that, are they authorized to approve? No, they can't.
now they can't.
Once
No,
there's a
even in the
regulation, they
future,
can.
They have no authority to do a function of the IRD or the exchange control, no. So whether those officers will be positioned in these places.
No,
These
but I
are-
think customs only want the winner to declare it and to know where the source of the income is.
Yeah, usually unless the money has been issued by a bank, licensed bank, we won't allow it. I mean, there's no other way of purchasing or acquiring money for an exchange.
No,
For this
considering the
bank.
change of the legal environment, is
Then
there
if the legal
then it,
environment
Then
is
it has to
changed,
be
if it is
issued from
permitted, so
somewhere.
then we-
They
Yeah.
should have a regulation.
yeah, they
To
should
say
have a
if
regulation.
it's other than bank, it has to be gambling, and the
Yeah.
gambling, as the member said,
The
it has to
authority
be
has to
certified.
certify.
Saying that then we should have authority or a officer or a process or a system
That's true.
in place. Yeah.
So that's why I said the half peg. We have to have those things. We are assuming this comes into work next week. Sign and seal 2 weeks later. Somebody wins and goes out. Then you, if you create once and you have a person caught up there saying he have won this and not taken, that's the end of gambling industry.
But Chairman, so the purpose of this act, as it says, to provide for the establishment of gambling regulatory authority and repeal some acts and provide for matters connected related to that. So I think the main objective is to establishment
authority.
of gambling regulatory authority. So the matters connected with the foreign exchange outflow, inflow, all these things can be decided once the gambling regulatory authority is established. So then, because we have to think about the foreign exchange act, so are there regulation or the
So we wear the shoes and then decide to wear the socks.
No, I think the
How else
Please,
it-
no,
Because
exactly,
anyway that
now
can't be
see
prescribed in
see
that,
how many
no.
cars are stuck in the Hambantota port, 7,200. Why cross border? No regulation, no policy. So somebody has to take that, no, you can't be paying demurrage and keeping it. That is what running smooth administrations are. I am trying to help to get to that point. I am
but
all
that
for it.
anyway
even-
can't come in the act, no.
Huh?
Anyway, it
This
can't
what
be
you're
but
suggesting
prescribed.
cannot
the
come in the act.
Forget that, the operational activity must be there.
That is already a problem in the country.
You know, each casino will have to appoint a senior management level compliance officer
Yeah.
who will be in charge, who will be able to interact with officials.
Whole
Because
systems.
he has to raise alarms when the flag is raised about a particular person's overspending in the casino, right? On the financial, terrorist funding, financial issues and various other flags can be raised. And then he should record these things, and he must try and get because you will have to have a kind of a trustworthy arrangement with the casino operators, otherwise this whole thing will not go. Because there has to be a compliance officer at a senior level who will be monitoring this. You see? And then they will have, of course, casinos will have closed circuit cameras monitoring everything, but how much of access will the Sri Lankan officials have to go in and then probe?
You may have this being a Hawala point. They'll endorse, say, yes, 111 and everything going out. Then that will be exchange. And you are going to carry it in dollars or rupees. Now the winning is, you are playing in rupees now, or you are playing in whatever the currency coinage. So you are playing in rupees. Then you are going to take it out in dollars. How does it get converted?
Those changes should come as a reform for the exchange law. Not to this.
Now even a normal foreign exchange authorized agent, more than $3,000, they had to, suddenly they raise alarms. They have to report it. You see, then if he's a exposed person, that's again triggered. So I don't know how the casino operations, when fellows bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars, when they start playing, whether this is why the junket operation has been created, so that they don't deal with money. They only deal with agents who will look after the transferring part. You see, but that's for high net worth for high net worth people. But common man, genuine traveler who wants to come and gamble, will have a lot of impediments in his way unless there is some regulated environment which is properly defined by both the casino owners and the government authorities. I think the authority has to learn by trial and error as we go along, and then
After that, they have to.
There is a lot of space to create regulations for different matters also.
What's
Not
good
only
is
this.
we are at least referring a one country which is successful. So let's get close as possible with other regulations and laws to enable this industry. Now we have decided as a country to move forward with this industry, which is a good thing. And again, we are now bringing in laws and authorities to make it formalized. And if there are loopholes, let's fix it. For the moment, I think as a committee we should proceed to pass this on.
No, the concerns are
There is trouble free
Very
assault.
very valid.
Concerns are already said. I think the customs should especially.
No, customs don't put the blame onto them.
No,
I am
they
asking
can't.
your problem.
That's the actually reality what we are understanding today is it's also nobody is taking more than 50,000 declared. If they are taking, they must be undeclared and taking it. Or either they are using junket operations to transfer
But
money.
junket operation means we are losing revenue to the country. No? Everything has to get finally framed as a sales turnover in the country. No? Otherwise we won't get that 18%.
Yeah, so I think that's where the careful regulation is required. How do you define revenue? Whether it's a cash that's coming in, whether it's the amount of transactions you put to bet. So then it's a definition problem. You can say I am putting 100,000 to bet, but my 100,000 is in another country. How do you regulate that? I don't know.
You see, it's like, it should not be like, recently Bellagio was fined 1.5 million for not having taken precautions about a customer identity of a person. This is just a knock in the knuckles, you see. But central bank had this power, but they just did it. But that has become a joke now in the circles. So similar things will happen as we go along. So unless we have very robust system in place from the very start, we'll have problems. What we'll do is we'll approve this, but then
will
be ready
approve, but
to
that's
have officials in the box,
No, I
so
think,
that they will have
Chair, I think
answers ready when the debate takes
No,
place.
Chairman, I
to be
would like
fair,
to
to be
clarify-
fair, this is the finance team who has drafted a bill.
Yeah.
Now this entire accountability of improving and protecting the industry growing will come to the authority and to the minister again, right? So let's keep moving in that direction. No?
But Chair, I would like to reflect that while this should have come much longer, the impediments of the operational activities is shown as weaknesses. Needs to be corrected. Otherwise, we don't want to be a rubber stamp by saying we had this problem and nobody told it. We have told it.
Now,
let it be
may I raise another question? But is there obligation for the authority to come under parliamentary supervision every year? At least then these questions can be raised.
Yeah.
Huh?
This comes under what? Copa.
Copa.
Copa or Cop? Which one?
Copa.
So that it can come under some scrutiny.
Now the
Every now
National
and then.
Lotteries Board and Development Lotteries Board will come under this regulatory authority?
No.
No, it won't.
That's another lacuna.
Yeah, so that's also
that has been pointed
gambling.
out.
No? That's why I asked whether this is an encompassing authority that all forms of gambling. The answer was yes. So if that is the case, then it has to basically deregulate the National Lotteries Board and Development Lotteries. Yeah, so when I asked that this is the regulatory authority, you can't have this and that, no? Then it's a one authority.
No, those two institutions as government organizations, they'll remain as it is and they will not come under, because their purposes are different. They are not making money to take, they are development lottery boards and they are done for the growth of the nation and do certain activities. So this, and the purpose of a gambling operation and purpose of lotteries board is not equal.
Is that
But-
the intention? Is that correct or not?
Actually, they are statutory bodies and they have different powers, and they are the funds collected by them supposed to be utilized for the purposes identified under that particular laws. So there are contradictions between the two laws. So we have to amend all those two acts in line with the Gambling Regulatory Authority Act, and these two boards are under the supervision of Public Committee on Public Finance and these other parliamentary committees as well, and they are under the Department of Public Enterprises of the Minister of Finance. So if they also to become under this, only those two are the exempted categories, the NLB and the DLB. So if the policy decision is taken to bring them also under this thing, then we have to amend that
So it's
particular.
coming under the same minister, Tanuja. Why can't you recommend that they also come under the same finance minister? No,
No, but the purposes
policy
are different
decision,
of the.
no, it's same gambling. No.
No, it's
No,
a
but it's
policy
not
decision,
gambling.
so I think we are very clear on that. The development board and those two institutions has been misused and not used for purpose for many years, and we are really planning to use it for the growth of this nation. So I think that is not gambling in that sense, but probably the rules and regulations here we can adapt it to that tact to ensure that is making fair by the customer and the gambler. But because
It's
the
a lottery.
end requirement and the use of funds is quite different at scope itself.
The scale of a casino and the lottery is different.
Yes, now and the other issue is that this betting entities surreptitiously taking over franchises in the Lanka Premier League.
Yes.
That has been the talking point.
Sports.
But can they also be regulated by this? Because particularly Sri Lanka cricket, right? When exposures were made, they claim that the ICC has given them permission to take these people. I mean, that's a hell of a how do you do, you see? So what I'm saying is,
What kind
even
of
that
marketing?
no, unfortunately, some of our players have been banned. They are catching sprats, whereas the big fish is escaping. right? One or two prosecutions have taken place. I think the AG's department was aware. So, but such activity also, there must be some regulation by this authority. Because sports gambling is a big issue. Yes, so, anyway, be that as it may, shall we then approve this?
Yep. But
subject to
say from my point of view, I'd like to say
that's
there are
recorded.
serious lacuna. It has been observed, but
Yeah.
with the intention to carry forward.
Right, okay. Right, so we will then see that this bill is approved for submission to Parliament, okay. Then we have 3 gazettes, one on import duties under customs ordinance, the other excise duty under Excise Special Provisions Act, and then the under Finance Act, luxury tax on motor vehicles, all of which relate to the import of vehicles.
Chairman, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
he's been experienced in Inland Revenue. Now, when I said the winnings, you
Yeah.
just give the interpretation.
According to the Inland Revenue Act, the winnings from betting and gaming are taxed.
Yeah.
Then the winner should have to go to Inland Revenue Act.
Can you off your mic? All right. Will you put off your mic?
Are you issue a tax certificate?
Yes.
Then you
They
can
make relevant tax and they will issue the tax clearance certificate. By using that tax clearance certificate, I think they can remit the relevant winning amount without upper ceiling. I think
That is under the Inland Revenue Act.
Yes.
14% withholding
after
tax is
making that
there.
taxes, can they remit that
Yes,
amount
yes.
out of country without upper ceiling?
Yes.
That's for
Yeah, so
local.
how will that happen at the end? You'll have to ensure that these are regulated and officials are there.
It doesn't matter whether it is, if it is winning from a lottery, winning from gambling activity, then 14% withholding tax is there. So the once the tax is deducted, the balance amount could be taken out.
Not only withholding tax, they should have to pay taxes according to the as per investment income.
No, on winnings only the withholding tax, which is final.
Is that final?
Yeah.
That amount is coming under investment income.
Yes.
According to
Exactly. Yes.
Okay,
So-
shall we
Yep, okay.
conclude it then?